What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Sprint Car Nights. If you did not see my post earlier today, actually, we're kicking off a new little bit of series here with Brian Walker from High Limit Racing. We're here with Blake Walker as well. No relation. We've got two B-Walks in the house this week. No Cade. Unfortunately, he's too busy working and making money, so he was not able to join us this week. But yeah, check out my video from earlier today. We're firing up Sprint Car Nights, where it's more not Knoxville-centric talk, so we can talk about High Limit, World of Outlaws, any other racing going on around the country. So we're happy to have Mr. Walkapedia himself join us. We're going to talk about everything that's going on for High Limit. It's a big week. We have the Midweek Series finale at Lucas Oil Speedway here in just a couple days on Wednesday, and then the All-In Championship weekend at Texas Motor Speedway. That'll close out your season. How's it going, Brian? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, going great. Just sitting here in a hotel in Kansas. Last little stretch of the year, and then we're heading down to Wheatland tomorrow morning, and close out a 4-way title fight, which is even crazier than the season long battle we got going on. And then it's on to Texas to figure out if Rico or Aaron or Brad's going to win the title.
Can't really ask for much better, having both of the different seasons that are going on coming down to either the last race, or it looks like probably be the last race in both.
Can't ask for any better weather either. Like our weather at Lakeside this past weekend was awesome. I don't know how it is up in Iowa. Like Kansas, it's 70, 75. It's awesome down here.
Yeah, about the same here. A little bit of rain, but I think it's going to be free and clear. So it's good stuff, Blake. We have a little bit of news that relate to Knoxville for next season, and then we'll probably jump in and grill Brian just a little bit on his upbringing here in sprint car racing and start talking about those High Limit finale. What do we got coming out just today from Knoxville?
Yeah, so today it was announced, this was kind of rumored. I had heard that this was going to happen over the weekend. The World of Outlaws announced today that Knoxville Raceway and Houston Speedway are going to come together for a special kind of Memorial Day weekend event. On May 23rd, they're going to go to Knoxville and race for $20,000. And then the very next day, they trek up to Houston's and they're going to race for $20,000. It is unclear how this affects the World of Outlaw weekends that we have in April or in June for Knoxville. Common sense, if you will, tells us that this probably eliminates one of those events, whether that be the April event or whether that be June. The June event is interesting because this would only be about 3 weeks before the June event usually takes place, about a month before the April or month after the April event takes place. So it's pretty interesting. Obviously, we don't have a full Knoxville schedule yet. We really won't until December, January, somewhere around there. And I don't know. From an outsider perspective, if I'm just thinking broad terms, I wish it would be a 2-day show at Knoxville. I'm just one of those guys that always thinks that, sue me, Knoxville is a big enough track. I think it deserves 2 nights in a weekend, not just a one-night show, selfishly. But it's cool. I think I'll try to make the drive up to Houston's for sure. I mean, I think fans should too, to be able to go for it. And I think we're going to have a great field for the whole thing. So we'll just have to wait and see, but it's cool. Just something different. Obviously, we race on Saturdays, Houston's race on Sundays. Why not pair them together? And for $20,000 each, that's not that bad.
No, not at all. And it's good. More money up for grabs for the drivers. We saw Tanner Holmes put out a video kind of talking about High Limit Outlaws and what the Outlaws might need to do with High Limit pushing the bar up a little bit more. And this wouldn't surprise me if this is the first of more moves like this. And like you said, I do hope that fans go up and support Houston's. It would have been cool if maybe we had a Friday, Saturday at Knoxville, Sunday at Houston's. We were kind of talking about that with you earlier, Brian. But big money races earlier in the year is never a bad thing.
Yeah, no, ad money's never a bad thing. It's definitely an interesting weekend. Selfishly for me, it sucks. Obviously, we're at the Weicker. I'll be at Port Royal that weekend. But I think that's it. I am like Blake said. I'm most interested to see how that affects really April and June, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see how they play with that schedule there.
Well, and especially with June, that week, you guys were off too. I mean, so then it's a big mecca of gathering everybody at Knoxville. We had almost 60 cars last year in June. So I don't know. That's the big question mark right now. And maybe this will force Knoxville to kind of push their schedule out a little bit sooner here and maybe try to get things straightened out. I don't know, but still cool. Cool opportunity.
Yeah, You said December's normally about the time the track schedule comes
It's
out?
usually, yeah. I mean, they try to get it winter anytime around there.
Gotcha.
Just trying to stay on top of things for the fans and whatnot. So
Gotcha.
we'll wait and see.
Yep.
All righty. Well, let's jump in. Let's grill Brian on a couple questions first, and then let's talk the high limit series. I want to start out just this has been at me because Laporta will always talk about whenever you set up the wheel or something like that, or you guys have all your stuff that goes on during race day. What does race day look like for you with high limit? When in the morning, are you at the track right there? Like, say if a race is on Friday, are you there Thursday night into Friday? Give us a whole rundown. What setup, event, what you do during the event, and what teardown looks like.
So early morning on actual race day for me is wake up early-ish, ideally around 7, 8, 9, hopefully. And most of the time I have a lot of my graphics done ahead of time, the race day graphic, if there's a entry list graphic, anything, the schedule from Mike Hess that he makes and sends to me. I try to have as much as I can the night before, our NXT bet stuff and everything like that. Everyone, the whole staff, we normally get to the track at 11 a.m. every race day and start setting up. And that is, I mean, most of the hanging banners, setting up the mesh, everything like that. When I get to the track, I am working on all the social media stuff, just helping Ashley with Ashley Hess with stuff in the trailer. Normally go to get lunch. That's a big thing in our car. We have TLP traveling with us, so we got to get lunch every day. He'd make that joke himself. That's why I can do it. Man, then we get back to the track, and then, I mean, teams start arriving, and it's just putting stuff out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything. And I make the qualifying order sheet once Carini's done with pill draw. From there, I mean, it's just let's go racing, and I'm covering the night as we go along, through hot laps, qualify, heat race, everything. I do have to set the wheel up. It's a lot better than what it used to be the first year. It was just such a pain in the ass to get going and maneuver and everything. We always joke about just throwing it in whatever river is nearby. It always makes it to the next track though. But yeah, we do that, and Victory Lane, A-Main happens, Victory Lane. And then, I mean, after the races, my job gets really busy again. Then it's just, starting to write the press release afterwards, doing stuff with points and all the sponsor obligations we have, hard charger, fastest lap, any win stickers, Victory Lane, all that. And then pack up and on to the next place, wherever we go, airport or home or track.
So a typical race day is work day, we'll call it, is anywhere from probably what would you say, 10, 12 hours?
Oh yeah. I mean, really busy days, it can be like 16.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anybody that's ever seen you zipping around the infield, like there's very little downtime, and it's I know you love it, and you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't love it. Same with pretty much everybody that's involved. But it's not quite the glory that some people might think, that you just show up and go racing, because that doesn't even affect or bring into account like your travel, whether you're driving track to track, flying, whatever what have you.
Yeah, it's definitely not glorious at times, but it is very fun. It's it's for a lot of us, it's what you grow up dreaming about going or doing or seeing, all that. So it's you definitely have to love it to you have to appreciate the grind. Like the Thursday or Wednesday night after Lucasville, we're gonna drive 4 hours after the races are over. So we'll probably leave around hopefully 11. I mean, it's another hour and a half after the races end before we leave. So I mean, hopefully we leave around 11 or so, drive 4 hours into the night, sleep for a few hours, wake up and drive the remaining 5 hours to DFW. And then so for a special race like Texas, we will go to the track probably on Thursday, just because there's so much kind of more to set up for.
Yeah. It's a lot, man. Do you ever get to a point to where, like you talked about the grind, you ever just like, man, this has been a lot, this has been dragging on, or is it still you just love it so much that you just kind of push through it?
There's definitely stretches where you are like, oh my god, I'm burnt out, tired, whatever. But yeah, I mean, you just push through it. The busy, like we had a really busy May this year, which kind of with our midweek stuff and everything. That was by the end of it, it was just like you're just glad to go home more than anything. You're just counting down the days of the just give me 3 days at home for a reset and I'll be fine. But so yeah, there are moments, but you just push through and you get that little break and then you're ready to rip again.
Absolutely. Were you
You
gonna
guys
say
go
something?
to, yeah, I was just, or you got a question you want me to ask?
Yeah, I was going to kind of go back a little bit.
Yeah.
So, anybody that's on Twitter, especially, they've definitely seen your content with Walkapedia, especially during the Chili Bowl. There's no better coverage, honestly. Um, some people may not know that you came from the Outlaws before High Limit. What did like kind of your journey just from being a fan to getting involved in social media, and now you're with one of the up and coming marquee series in sprint car racing.
Yeah, my journey. What is it? I mean, so if anyone knows the Tulsa Shootout or micro sprints really well in general, so my cousin is Chris Andrews from Oklahoma, not the Ohio one. There are two of them. So I grew up and I was born in Tulsa, born and raised around the 918, and I grew up going to Port City pretty much almost every weekend. Went to I-44 in Oklahoma City a little bit. There used to be a track called Will Rogers in Claremore, and so I'd every weekend with my grandma and grandpa go to the micro races and watch Chris race. And then when I turned maybe like 10, 11, 12, 13, I started going into the pit area and helping Chris, my grandpa, and my uncle Jay. That was his pit crew, and so that was where I really kind of just that's how I was introduced to racing. And I mean, it was really all I knew growing up. It was go to school, play sports in the middle of the week, and on the weekend we're going to the races to watch Chris race. And so I go to Port City, and I'm around Oklahoma my whole life. When I turn 14, 15, I started, well, what really like got me into social media too is more than anything is Chris drove for Andrew Felker at the Twister Nationals. It was his first midget race. It was like a Power Eye West midget race at I-44, and he won from like 17. It was his first midget race. It was awesome. And I was like, man, people should know about this. Like as a little kid, right? Like thinking it's so cool what someone just did. And so I dive into social media. And at that time, I remember I don't know if you guys were around or following much of the time, but Ziziana Bacon, Brady's wife, would always do updates, like
Yeah,
similar to how everyone does it now. She would always do those a lot. I think Lonnie Wheatley did a lot, and so like that's where I kind of got the blueprint of what I eventually became from them, and just learned to like start doing. Um, and then at that age, I'm getting a lot more friends, and so I'm just bumming rides to Power Eye races a lot in Illinois with Lane Heimball or Andrew Felker. And I do remember it was June 8th, 2014 was my first Power Eye race at it was Illinois Speed Week at Belle Claire. Rest in peace, Belle Claire. Was my favorite midget track of all time. If anyone's never seen races from there, you need to YouTube them. They're incredible. And that night there were like 73 micros. This is when Power Eye micros were really
Dang.
huge. Yes, it was insane. There's like 73 micros, like 66 midgets or something. And like this is the height of Power Eye in my opinion. And I did updates the whole night. And I remember like, and this is 2014, so there's no streaming, right? Like this is before Speed Shift or like I think Exxon was around at the time, but nobody was covering that race. So like the only way anyone was seeing anything about the race was on my Twitter. And like that time, I think I probably was doing Walker Racing promotions, which I was like a little PR thing for micro people at the time. And that it just blew up that night. Like I remember, like Keith Coons was tweeting at me, Tim Clausen, and like it was on top of the world. Like it was so cool for a 16-year-old kid to be,
I bet.
yeah, to even like be recognized by those guys. And that just kind of lit the fire and started traveling more. And I mean, nothing big ever happened after that until I worked. Tim Clausen hired me to work for Clausen Marshall Racing. I did all their social media for a year or two around the 2017 mark. And then I got hooked up with, I was doing so much stuff with Felker. Felker convinced me to message Brooke Schumann for the war. They were doing the war sprint cars at the time, her and Casey. And so I ended up starting working for them in 2019, and then just getting in the door with them. That got me. I worked for Power itself in 2019. 2020, I get in with the Outlaws at the late models. I did do late models for
That's
a
right.
full season. Yes, yeah. That people forget that I was a late model guy for a
The
full
horror.
year. Yeah. It was interesting. It was fun, and then that year, just being in the door at WRG, the Nick Graziano, the former PR director, who's still there now in a managerial role, he wanted to get off the road. And so they were like, "Do you want to switch over?" And I was like, "That's everything I've ever wanted in my whole life." So then I was the outlaw sprint car PR guy for 2 seasons, and then in 2023 I moved over to High Limit.
Nice.
Awesome.
Long-winded, but
No,
we're still here.
Long journey, and yeah, like you
Yeah.
said, sounds like you're kind of living the dream, like you said, from a little kid that grew up going to this stuff. I can go into the races with my grandpa and stuff. I feel like, Blake, you went with your family to the races and stuff too. Like a lot of people, probably that resonates with a lot of people, and you put your mind to it, anything can happen.
I remember anytime I see my grandma, every time we'd go to Port City Saturday night and we'd come home and she'd always make me cookies and cream ice cream. It was the greatest thing ever. Cool. The life was easier then. Now I just have to work after the races.
Yeah, right. Got to drive 4 hours to the next one.
Yeah.
Do you remember your thoughts when High Limit, like there were talks that this was going to become a thing? Like, do you remember like it was like, oh, Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet, they're going to do this series. They end up taking the All-Stars, blah, blah, blah. Like, do you remember the beginning of that and what your initial thoughts were? And then kind of what led into that? Who got in contact with you, or, like how did that really grow about? What were your initial thoughts with the whole thing?
So I remember the morning of whatever day it was at Kings Royal. I don't know specifically which day of the week it was at Kings Royal, but we were staying at an Airbnb in like Dayton or something, a whole bunch of us with the Outlaw crew. And I mean, Attica was the night. It must have been Wednesday morning because Attica was the night before. And I feel like there were rumblings in the pit area about just like something big coming on. Yeah. I know some people, I think, at that point knew, but at the time, I don't recall us being 100% aware that it was a sprint car series with Brad and Kyle. But I got a call Wednesday morning of Eldora from Chris Dolak, who was my boss at the time. Basically, and it was me, Chris, I think Christina Cordova, and Dolak. And it was just like, hey, Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet are going to announce that they're starting a sprint car series today at Eldora. I was like, oh, okay. Gotcha. And so it was just giving us a heads up and, how to interact with it and deal with it and whatnot. I don't remember being too opinionated on it, just especially when it first started. It was very
so
unknown.
Sporadic.
It came out of nowhere and it was a little unknown. Like it wasn't really like no one was 100% sure what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, well, they had just announced it at Eldora and then they didn't have a schedule the schedule didn't come out till December. So I do remember there was always like a lot of hype and conversation, like, oh, where are they going to go? When? Blah, blah, blah. I didn't go to any of the first, they only did that one race. It was Lincoln Park. I was at a baseball game each time they tried to race. I went to, it was after Knoxville Nationals. They ran Putnamville. I was at a Minnesota Twins game because we had to go run Jackson Nationals. And then I was at a Chicago Cubs game when they tried to run Wayne County, but it rained out. But yeah, like the schedule came out in December and I never remember being like too strong one way. Just because of the time, like it was only midweek. I don't feel like I was
only
really
like 10 races.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah.
I mean, at the time I was still like 100% committed to the Outlaws and I was like, it didn't really bother me that much. There were some people in the company that obviously had strong beliefs and still do. And, and that's fine. But yeah, then my transition over. So what's funny enough is at the Knoxville Nationals that year, they announced it at Kings Royal. In fitting terms of the show, Knoxville nights sometime, it gets around 2, 3, 4 in the morning after Dingus, right?
We go to drinks.
Yeah. I remember in 3 and 4, I remember being in a circle and it's It's Brad, Kyle, JP, Josh Peterman, who's the CEO now at High Limit. Colby Copeland might have been there. It was me, Rodman, and Carini. And I vividly remember them, Brad and Kyle, like, we're gonna hire you guys. Like, you're gonna work for High Limit. Like, and all of us just laughing it off, or yeah, right, for sure. You and
Whatever.
I think Kareem would be like, yeah, you wish.
Get another
And
White Claw. All right.
Yep, exactly. And then, but so fast forward to
Present day.
yeah. Kareem and Rodman are over in 103.
Yeah.
No, but so that happens, and I like each one at the time. Obviously, we were working for the Outlaws, and Brad was racing for the championship. And I do remember at Skagit that year, him and Carini got into a heated debate about what would happen, blah blah blah, between the two companies if Highland was to get bigger. Fast forward to January. I was on my flight to Chili Bowl. I was flying to Chili Bowl. I had a connection in Atlanta, and I get a text from JP and Brad asking if I would. I remember it was just like, "Will you just hear us out? We just wanna ask you, or if you're interested, blah blah blah." And so I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I'll like hear you out. I'm not just gonna say no." And I was like, "I need to get through Chili Bowl." So I get through Chili Bowl, and I think we had a call right when I got home, and we talked that time. I maybe one more, and then at Volusia Dirt Car Nationals, I had like a 2-hour meeting with Brad in his hauler on one of like the All-Star days, and I left that meeting and I shook Brad's hand and I said I'm in. So and then I resigned. I worked all week at Volusia for the Dirt Car Nationals for the Outlaws, and at the end of it, I put my 2-week resignation in. I did suggest they hire Alex Neaton, and I'm very glad they did. He was the second best guy for the job, I think, and he's done an incredible job for the past 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad they went with him after me.
Yep, super nice dude too.
Yep, and then I officially started at High Limit on March 1, 2023, and we did that midweek year, and that was we still talk about it a lot. That was a really fun year. Obviously, we only did 10, 11 races, and it was me, JP, Brad, a little bit of Kyle. We contracted out USAC stuff. Brad's wife Rachel was a big part of that year too. We contracted out USAC, like Tommy Estes, race directed for a little bit, and we had some other employees help round the track. But yeah, that was a really fun year. I'm very happy with my decision. I remember in the like decision making process, I was thinking like, man, if I do this, I can't go back the other way, right? Like as big as this is, like I'm pretty much burning a bridge in like the sport that I want to be in for the rest of my life. So like I remember like hammering Brad about that. Like, is this thing gonna work? Like, because I really need it to. But so I'm glad with my decision, and now I have so many of my best friends over here working with me too. That's the cool part.
Can you point to like one or a couple things that like really influenced that decision? Because like you said, I mean, you don't want to get blackballed at, that was what, 3 years ago. Now you're still really young, like you said, in an industry that you want to be in for the rest of your life. I'm sure that was a stressful thing. And what were a couple things that kind of stuck out and were like, yeah, I bet this is going to push me to make that decision?
I just think the chance to be a part of something, so huge and kind of history making, and like actually have a role in it too. That's like I feel like at the part of the decision making was at the Outlaws. I was kind of stuck where I was stuck, which isn't to say it's a bad thing, but it was just I think if I would have just been the PR coordinator and that was it.
You're a cog in the machine at that point, not pushing.
Yeah, and I didn't really have a desire to go into any of the other avenues possible, I guess, at the Outlaws. But if moving over, it was okay, I have an influence in schedule making. Like I get to be a part of the meetings, making the schedule with Brad. I get to be a part of, I learned so much about the business side and ticketing and more of the marketing side and literally running the show with Mike and all in the broadcast with Flo. Like I get to be so much more involved and I think learn even more new things that might be helpful down the line in my career. So I think that was really the biggest part is how my level of influence would be different from each side.
Cool.
You guys go to so many different tracks. I mean, I think that's one of the cool things about High Limit is like you guys are going places that the Outlaws are not, whether that be, places they have gone before, they don't go before, anything like that. With that, you go to a lot of different places. Some places are better shaped than others, better facilities than others. What's it like going to all these different tracks and having to adapt to what they give you? Because you were talking about, the social media thing. If the track doesn't have Wi-Fi signal, are you screwed? Like, I mean, like in that case, like, how do you work around those things? Whether that be Wi-Fi, whether that be just, I don't know, Chase has to call the race up on a lift, it's just like, how do you work around all those things and how much planning is ahead to try to combat those things?
There's definitely a lot of planning ahead of time, especially like stuff with the broadcast crew and like Chase and all that. Like Tri City, he announces from he announces and Carini scores and Mike race directs from the infield because that's all they have there. So you're in the infield spinning the whole time. Other examples yeah, the Wi-Fi thing. If you don't have Wi-Fi, you're just screwed. You're on your phone and what you got. I have you guys are from Iowa, so you at least know what U.S. Cellular is,
Yep.
which is nice to understand. So many of my coworkers are like, what you have? What is that, like cricket? I'm like, no. So I have U.S. Cellular, and it works most of the time pretty much everywhere. But you go to places like Skagit, it's a little tough, but they have good Wi-Fi there, so that's nice. Yeah, other places, I'm trying to think of like where have we been lately? Like some places are you kind of look forward to working with, like Port Royal's great to work with. Chico we have an in with because of Brad and Rachel. So many places, we have working relationships already established with and they run such a good program already that like we're just kind of coming in and just running our show. Other places it's like, okay, this is the first National Sprint Car Series race here ever, or like they haven't been here in 30 years, like they don't run sprint cars here at all. Like there's so many other little nuances that you think about before or just learn on the fly and have to adapt in the future.
Yeah.
You mentioned on just running the show and stuff, like that's one thing that I have really enjoyed about High Limit is the efficiency. You guys can get through a show whether you have support class or not, and I think fans to the point of going places where sprint car racing maybe doesn't touch a lot or really if ever, getting new fans into the stands and having an efficient program like that is key because people aren't looking to be at the racetrack for 5, 6, 7 hours with 30-minute blocks of downtime. I know that's one of many things that I've really enjoyed, and you can tell that you guys care about that.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest selling points really from the start was efficiency and time management, getting over at an early time, especially because when we first started, it was a midweek series, so it was even more ultra important on a school night to get done for families, and like I building into that, like how efficient the show is. I like that this year we really went a new route with like pushing. All right, hot lap 6:15, racing 7:30, and it's like, okay, we're gonna hammer out hot laps in 10 to 15 minutes, rip through we go right into qualifying, and then hopefully have 30-minute buffer for FanFest, in which I like at the track because if you're at the track, it is really cool with how popular some of the drivers are and how packed the merch trailers are during that little block. Would definitely need to do some stuff with like the broadcast just to feel that I understand how that would like suck being at home.
Please.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything, but I'm sure it's great for the fans. It's just worth it now.
Yeah, no, it's funny that so like when Tyler Courtney got hurt, obviously he's used to being at the track and like he'll go to FanFest and deal with that. And like the first thing he said when he watched Tulare, I think, it was like, man, this kind of sucks for the fans at home. Like, so we'll get to work on that, obviously. But at the track, that's a really cool deal. And then it's nice that racing 7:30 every night, ideally, and it's just from there. It's roughly an hour to an hour and a half of the block of racing from heat races to all right. The dash is going to take, or the redraw is going to take 10 to 15 minutes, hopefully 10 minutes, depending on the questions and stuff. And then, I mean, the dash and the B to the A, that can fly by in a hurry. And then hopefully we're done by 9:30.
So, what are some of the maybe misconceptions that you might see or hear, like see online or hear at the track or whatever, about what High Limit is doing? Um, you can take that wherever you want, business wise, program wise, etc.
It's not rigged. That's crazy. I know. I know.
What?
It's right.
Breaking news.
Brad Sweet's running the series. It's not.
Yeah, it's not.
Is that
rigged,
Brad over
actually.
your shoulder checking to make sure you said that? Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty legit. Rico doesn't own the series. I don't know. There's been a misconception.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh yeah,
I
like
heard
I haven't heard that one.
in the Facebook comments, you'll see a lot about Rico's the third owner, which is not true. He might own Brad this season. I don't know, but yeah, that's always the most annoying one. It has died down a lot lately, as far as the being rigged, died down a lot lately, mainly because Brad hasn't been winning. But if Brad wins, it's the end of the Brad or Kyle. Brad, they win, it's the end of the world. They're taking money from teams who need it, stuff like that. Other misconceptions.
And once Brad gets disqualified, that kind of goes right out the window there.
Yeah. I mean, that was. There have been so many instances where it was just, one thing happens and you won't forget it forever, and it's rigged for the rest of eternity. But I think that was the biggest part in bringing Mike Hess in and everyone else. It was like you got to have it's completely separate. Like, it is really nice, I will say, at the track. Like, and being as a guy who was there in 2023 and dealt with Brad Sweet, the promoter or series owner, and when that's all he was, because he couldn't race those races in 2023 other than two of them. It's totally different when he's there racing. He's there as the driver of the Casey Kane Racing Nap Auto Parts number 49, and that's it. Because Mike's running the show, everyone, all the other officials, that's what they're there for. We definitely don't want the World of Outlaws to die. That's like, or no. Another one is killing Ohio sprint car racing. That did not happen. Okay. Yeah, I think this year Ohio has always been fun to follow. It was extra more fun to follow this year with the return of the All Stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen either, and I'm excited to see what NARC does too, since that's coming into the fold next year. And where there's other ones. We like the World Outlaws. We watch every World Outlaw race possible. I go to every World Outlaw race possible I can. But yeah, those are some of the ones. I'm sure if you gave me an hour to look through all the Facebook comments, I could find a lot.
I wouldn't want you to put yourself through that.
Yeah.
Do you, before we get into just kind of talk about the end of the year here and what's ahead for the championship and what might happen, you got a favorite memory or a moment that's happened on the tour this year? Could be race moment, could be a winner, just anything that really sticks out in your mind.
This year, man, what's happened this year? A lot. Happened. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for me, I'd say Travis Aaron's. I think Travis Aaron's night was probably the coolest moment of the year.
I was gonna lean into that and say all the first time winners. Him being one of them.
Very good.
Cole winning and flipping. That was insane.
Insane.
Then you get Dayson breaks through and gets his first national winged win. Thorson, after a long wait, gets one. So many guys. Carson's first one doesn't really count. He's won
Aaron's
$100.
recent win, I thought was pretty. That was kind of a powerful one. You could tell like that meant a lot to him.
Oh,
especially being back at Eldora, because you never see that emotion out of someone like Reitzel, and I thought that was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, that was awesome. Going back to Eldora in July, being on FS1 was really cool.
Yeah.
What went into all that? Announcing the franchise deal at Vegas was a big deal. That was cool. There's been a lot. We're not done yet either.
That is true. We'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about Fairbury in the Prairie Dirt Classic. We see you posting about it and hyping it up. Why do we need to go to it?
The PDC is awesome. It is. I have not been to I have been to the Dirt Late Model Dream. I have not been to the World 100. And Michael Rigsby will tell you that Eldora that's like home. But I mean PDC is the most. I think it's the most fun dirt late model event just because it's in Fairbury, Illinois is very similar to Knoxville, Iowa, as
Yep.
far as a town and a community goes. I mean, you literally roll into town and there are campers on front lawns, there are golf carts everywhere. There is not a little dive bar across the road, unfortunately. I can confirm that, but it's so much fun. The event, the way it's laid out too, it's really fan friendly as far as like they have that flow night in America on Wednesday night, which is a good kind of kickoff, and then Thursday is just like a totally chill fun day, which it's like Monday and Tuesday of the Nationals really, where it's like there's a golf tournament in the morning, there's a Shriners auction in the evening that gives so much money to charity, there's a free dinner for everyone in town. There's a concert, kickoff party, and everyone's just having a good old time. And then, yeah, I mean, the racing's awesome. Like you can just watch the racing to speak for itself as to why you need to go. And the fans are rowdy. Like the backstretch at Fairbury is very similar to Turn Two at Chili Bowl, as just rowdy and wild as everyone gets. And you know, Brandon Shepard will throw a slider on turbo into one, and you can see the whole backstretch just jumping up and down, losing their minds. So it's I highly recommend it. Anyone that can go to the PDC at Fairbury.
Awesome.
Tell Michael Rigsby I sent you.
All that fender talk. Ugh. No. Sounds like a good time. I mean, there's so many really premier events that we're really lucky, especially in the Midwest. It's cool that like we can just drive right over to that. It's really cool.
Yeah. All right, let's talk points. So the midweek series is amazing. It's very close. I just want to talk about Rico Abreu. I mean, we'll mention a lot of these guys when we come back around to the full points, but what's different about Rico this year? I mean, obviously it feels like the confidence is at an all-time high, and he's always been a phenomenal race car driver. But midweek series, just for points-wise, he's 6 points ahead of Tanner Thorson, 4 wins, 4 top 5 finishes, 7 top 10 results across 9 feature starts. What have you seen from the 24 that even with the announcement with Tony Stewart, clearly that hasn't slowed them down? It wouldn't, but what's different about Rico this year?
Man, I said it back in March. I think that when we flew over to Perth for High Limit International, Rico had an incident happen, hurt his wrist, hand, whatever, and couldn't race. I think that was like an eye-opening moment for him. And I said, I think he goes into 2025 just like locked in on a whole new level. Like he's going to be so uber focused on his program, what him and Ricky need to do to make their car better, and what he needs to do to be like the right person every single day, day in and day out. I mean, he hammers the gym. I mean, him and Megan, what they do with their social media, and then just at the track is its own thing. But yeah, I think he's just reached a whole new level of maturity, maybe is the word. And I think it's paying dividends. You've seen it all year long.
And I mean, it's a cheat code having Ricky Warner and him teamed up together as well. Like it's really it's impressive. And like if you go back, down the list, then would you? I know I would not have believed that Tanner Thorson would be 6 points out going into the finale of the midweek series. But damn, that dude has been so good this year. Like I think he has definitely been one of the bright spots of the season. And I mean, he is right there. That he's shown he was fast earlier in the year at Lucas Oil as well. Like he could do this damn thing.
Yeah. I mean, we recorded the High Limit Room earlier today, and all of us, which is a little alarming because we watch College Game Day or Sunday Night Football, and when everyone picks the same team, right, it doesn't happen. But me, Chase, and Tony all picked Thorson to win the midweek title this week. Wow. Just because, I mean, he's 6 back right now of Rico, and we got one night. It's the point breakdown is it's 77 to win. You lose 5, 4, 3, and then it's down to everything from there. So he's to win it. Ideally, he wins the race, Rico has to run third or worse. The next best scenario is Tanner runs second. Brad needs to run third. Rico needs to run fourth. It's definitely doable. Mainly, I think he's going to win the race more than anything. He was so insanely fast there in June, all 3 nights when we were there. He should have won one of them, made a slight mistake, spun out. So I mean, yeah, I think he wins the race, and I'm banking on Rico running third or worse, and Tanner wins the midweek title.
Brad Sweet, you mentioned him
for Wednesday already.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get ready. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Brad Sweet, Aaron Reitzel also in that battle for the Midweek Series. Brad Sweet's 9 back, Aaron Reitzel is 12 back. So keep an eye out for that one. That one's gonna be a lot of fun. The Midweek Series, and then moving into the full season. So Rico's 30 points ahead of Brad Sweet. Brad is gonna make this interesting. Obviously, with what we saw at Lakeside. We'll talk about the race in a second, but Tyler Courtney said it on the broadcast when Brad got around the top 3 in lap traffic. It was a determined Brad Sweet. Is there a difference between Brad Sweet when he's just kind of driving and then a determined Brad Sweet who will turn it on when it matters? And he's clearly, they've got something rolling because he hadn't won in 3 months.
Yeah, I think there is. I don't know if you saw. So I did After the Checkers with him on Friday night too, and his response is hilarious. But I asked him, I was like, "All right, thinking about the championship, you've been in their shoes for more than the past half decade, right? Tell me what is Rico Abreu going through right now? Like you know more better than anyone." And he was like, "Yeah, I mean Rico's not sleeping well at night. He's a little paranoid. He's always wondering where's the 49 and where's the 87 on the track, and he's constantly running points through his head, and they know they can't screw up at all." And I was like, I'm so glad you said that because we have 6 years of footage of you, Brad, just completely lying to our faces, saying you weren't worried about Donnie or you weren't worried about David or whatever. But yeah, I mean they've kicked it up. I think you saw around maybe Eldora. They had one bad night Eldora, but they were really fast. That they just kind of found something and were like, and more than anything, maybe just saw like, oh shit, like we're about to really lose the title already. And really kicked it into high gear. So, yeah, I mean, 30 points over 3 races is 100% doable with the way our points work. What's been interesting is honestly, like, Brad has been more worried about the second place in the owner points for the KKR team.
Yeah.
Just because with the franchise system, it's a rolling 2-year points average. Like right now, if Rico wins and KKR runs third as it is, Rico gets the top franchise going to next year, which is like I want to say it's like a $75,000 or $80,000 bump from the next one, which would be what KKR has. So he's going into Lucas Oil 10 points back of the 87. So I mean that's a huge spot for money as far as next year and then 2027 too.
I mean, even thinking back to the midweek deal, it's tough to bet against a guy like that that's already shown that he can do it with high limit and against the Outlaws too. What we saw at Lakeside, man, we are setting up for such a good finish to the season.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, at Lucas Oil too, of the 4 guys, Tanner was really fast in June, but if you look at literally just pure results, Brad does have the best results there. He's ran second, first, third, 7th, and 5th in the 5 high limit races there. So. Yeah, I mean, actually, I mean, if he wins, so his best scenario is he wins, Rico runs 4th. That's definitely doable.
Yeah. Aaron Reitzel's right there. He's second in car owner standings, trailing Abreu by just 20 points. Is there words to describe what Aaron Reitzel has been through this year from your perspective and the trials and tribulations that he's been through? You know, we were literally right next to him watching Justin Sanders during Trophy Cup. I mean, just having to watch that car drive and win without him in it. What are your thoughts on Reitzel's 2025 season?
Gutsy and resilient, that's for sure. I mean, because it happened, it's been like all year long. Like the season opener, he gets a rock to the face at Vegas, breaks his nose, goes to the hospital. He doesn't even get to run the AMA, and Sanders filled in for that one too. At least started it. I mean, he comes back, he wins at Paris. Obviously, Eldora happens, and I know, like, missing races, like, you were literally next to him, and it had to hurt him so bad. Like, I know, just even when he was at the races, like, when they won at Placerville, and he was there, he was helping, it was still, like, shit, like I wish that was me. Like
Yeah.
I don't really like watching someone else win in my car. That's not entirely the best feeling. It's nice my car won, but that should be me. Um, so yeah, it's been, and then to just come back and like, I mean, I don't think he would say he was at 100% when he came back either, because there's just like no way he was.
He didn't.
Yeah.
When he walks, it doesn't look
Yeah,
like he's at 100%.
exactly. Yeah. And to win that so soon at Port Royal was insane. And then, to go back to Eldora where he got hurt, and I think we talked about it earlier how emotional he was in Victory Lane. That was cool to see. Um, it's his interactions with the fans is also funny too. Like, he wins the Weikert in May, and it's I can't hear you because I got all this money. And then what, Port Royal or Tusky? It's I can't believe you're booing a cripple. And then Eldora, obviously, it's the full circle moment. So it's been an awesome story. It's been one of the best stories all year long with High Limit. And I know, like, he's pushed in every interview, like he so badly wants to win a championship for Brian and Lisa Ridge and everything they've done for him and that whole crew. So if they can get it done, that'll definitely be a special cap to a special season.
Before we go to our next guy, we had talked about Eldora. What were your guys's? What was the series thoughts after that Eldora week where you guys lost your three of your top four in points? That is unheard of. Were you worried what that would do for you guys in terms of is our championship battle just gone? Is it out the window? What went into the whole process of the medical quote unquote red shirts, if you will? Just kind of walk us through that week, and was there a panic? I mean, you were just like, oh my gosh, we just lost everybody.
Yeah, I mean, well, especially after like Friday night, because Brad was the last one to get hurt. After Friday night, it was like, well, Brad's gonna win the title by 1,000,000 points now or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the worst part was after, I think it was after Saturday night, or I was leaving Eldora, and I was like, man, I have the hospital address memorized at this point. That kind of sucks. But yeah, that week was, I don't know, as a series, I don't think we ever had any, or I guess as far as the track goes, we never had any thoughts. Like, it was like, yeah, we're coming back here in September, and we just had a shitty week. That's all that it was. As far as like, the season goes, it definitely was like going to Lernerville. It was like, wow, we don't have the 87 here. We don't have the 49 here. The 7BC found a replacement for that race, but it was like, man, like Sunshine's gone. We don't know when Wrightsville's coming back. Pretty relatively quick after Eldora, it was like, okay, Brad will be fine, short term. So it was definitely a little concern as far as, man, like, we're losing a lot of star power in a hurry. That's not good as far as, promoting and marketing and tickets. But I mean, thankfully or not thankfully, I guess, or unfortunately or not fortunately, Geo somehow opened up and gets in the 7BC, and that's a great addition for us. Aaron is not out for too long, and in the meantime, we get a great fill-in for the West Coast and Justin Sanders. So everything ended up okay, and here we are going to Texas, and all those guys are still involved in great point battles and going for wins every night.
And to stay on that for just a second, how were vibes after that week? Like, just because, I mean, you guys are traveling up and down the road with each other. It's almost like a little bit of a family type deal there, and you see so many of your guys getting hurt. Like, I'm sure that definitely affected you guys for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I mean, just it sucked right away from the beginning, just because the severity of Tyler's too was being the first one. And then so a lot of us, we all got to go see him in the hospital, which was nice. And then Aaron happens, and it's like, oh shit, what's going on here? And then right when Brad happens, it's like, damn it, what's going on? And I mean, it's, especially with Brad too. I mean, he is the series owner. Like, he does so behind the scenes, so many of the planning and the future of High Limit. So that was an eye opener as well. But yeah, it definitely, I think, took a hit on morale for sure. But then it was nice, like, by the time we only had that one race at Lernerville, so we tried to get through one night there, and then it was nice. Like, we go to Knoxville and everyone's there, right? Like, you get to see Aaron, you get Tyler makes it to Knoxville anyway. Brad races. So I think it was a short-lived shot in the shorts. Check Christner line.
That's right.
Brent Marks right now currently sitting third in points, 181 back. Just talking about Brent for a second, and then obviously with Justin Peck right there fourth. Brent Marks it's kind of cool, his whole story. Obviously with being a PA guy, but he's really branched out and he's really hit all four corners of the country. I mean, he just wins wherever he goes, and especially this week at Lakeside, and we'll talk about that in a second. Brent Marks is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated drivers in the country. And I think many people forget his dominant summer a couple years ago when he was winning the big money at Eldora, won big at Knoxville. Have you seen that in Brent Marks, that Brent is continually getting better? And this year, maybe a couple misfortunes, but has a legit shot to compete for a title next year?
Yeah, absolutely. Mainly because of what he did on the West Coast this year. Like that, I feel like he will tell you that has always been the biggest thorn in his side. You could just look at the numbers from he spent 3 years on the road with the Outlaws before, and then last year with High Limit going out there as well. Like California and Washington were not high points for him. He wasn't too excited to be out there. And they just weren't the same number 19 they were in the Midwest or especially out east. But yeah, like they figured something out this year. I don't know if it was the car or Brent himself, to win at Douglas County, and they were good in general. They podiumed at one of the California tracks in the spring. He ran well in the fall as well. He locked into Gold Cup, which I never thought I would tweet, but he did. So that was good to see. And yeah, like you said, he's won all four corners of the U.S. I told TLP the other night, it was like, all right, Brent's 4 wins are down south in Dallas, out at home in Port Royal. And he won on the West Coast at Douglas County, and then right in the heart of America in Lakeside. So it's kind of funny how he's hitting everything. But they're, as long as, just clean up some misfortunes, there's no reason they can't be one of many title contenders.
Yeah, and that just goes to show the parity that you guys have with High Limit. Looks like one of your partners might need the car keys.
Can I get the car keys? I don't have them. Do you have the car keys? Chase Rodman's in the chat asking for them. I got Tony.
No, we've got Vic.
You don't?
No, remind him that he took the car to go get Wendy's.
Oh no, he took the car to go get Wendy's. Chase is just being a goober.
Okay,
unbelievable.
Typical.
I do think that, touching one more little bit on Brent, like being able to show that he can win at all those different types of tracks, that you have to do that to be able to win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
And like we were just saying, you gotta, like we've seen with Brad Rico this year, like with Gravel and the Outlaws, you just have to so much limit those bad nights, because even kind of what we were saying off air earlier, you have a bad night in March that could end up costing you at the very end of the year.
Yep. Season-long points, man. Every single night matters. Like from night 1 to night 50, 100, whatever you're going, it's crazy. But I think that's what we talked about. I think we talked about it with Sunshine last year too. It was like for him, it was the West Coast. Like I think for each driver, like there's different little pockets. Like when Brad was winning Outlaw championships, it was about surviving Williams Grove and Port Royal. So like I think everyone has their kryptonite, and it's just about getting over that hump and either completely overcoming it and turning it into one of your strong suits, or literally just surviving and advancing.
Which is why season-long point stuff is always the best versus a playoff.
Exactly.
I digress.
Yep.
Justin Peck, fourth in points. Tanner Thorson, fifth. Aaron Reitzel, sixth. Jason Persley, seventh. Brenham Crouch, Chase Randall, Cy Lynch. Let's quickly touch on those last four there. Persley, Crouch, Randall, and Lynch. They've all had their flashes this year. They have all had moments where you're like, whoa. They can compete. That's for sure. Say those four stick around and they're here next year. Will we see improvement from that? Obviously, with the year under their belt, I think we're already kind of seeing it with Chase Randall. I think Chase Randall has really picked it up the last couple of weeks. How valuable do you think this year has been? It hasn't been the best year for some of those guys, but to be on the tour, going through it, do we, and probably will we, see improvement here this upcoming year?
I think it has been invaluable. Like you can't put into words how I think you see it all the time with guys going on the road. And it might suck in the beginning. It might suck for a few years in the beginning. but I mean, it's going to pay dividends at some point. Look at Donnie Schatz. Donnie Schatz was on the road for several years
Yep.
before he turned into the Donnie Schatz that we know, and he went down the road with Kenny Woodruff of all people, and I mean, they got their butts kicked. Everyone does. Like Brad Sweet didn't go out and win outlaw championships right away. Neither did David Gravel. Like
David Gravel,
these guys, they put in the time and they put in the effort and they put in the miles, and eventually it pays off. Like, I mean, you just learn so much in the beginning stages. Like you've seen it over the past month, the improvement of those guys you mentioned. Like since Skagit, Brenham Crouch has 3 top 5s, which is huge for him. Cy Lynch is most likely have our most improved driver award locked up just because of average finish. Jason Persley's contending for wins almost every night. Chase Randall, since the past like 3 weeks, has been fast everywhere we've gone. So yeah, I think you're already seeing it pay off, and I think it'll go even bigger next year. But you hit on that too. I think it is cool. I think you can look at all 13 drivers in the points, and I think every single one of them has had like a moment this year. Like that's pretty cool. Like even Danny Sam's getting a win at Bridgeport. Like everyone's had their own little moment.
There's another misconception. Calling the race after 10 laps.
Yeah. That's not the first time I've been a part of that.
That's funny. Like the series are always going to get compared against each other, and like we just have seen that the Outlaws have been pretty top heavy this year, and it's absolutely a selling point for High Limit, just the depth of the series and the parity. Like we were just talking about, on Wednesday night, like, I mean, shit, all the guys that are in contention for the championship are going to have a chance to win. And I know that's exciting for you guys to go to work, and, you really don't know what's going to happen every night. It can't really get much better than that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. The depth has been an awesome selling point, and to get people to come to races. That's one thing it was really talked about last year. Is it was like some people thought it was harder to win an outlaw race, but it's harder to run top 10 at a high limit race just because there's so many guys. You look back at like last year, for example, like Zeb Wise was 11th in points. Like, whoa, like that's pretty crazy to think about. I
hope he's doing well.
Yes. We just talked the other day. I'm curious of when does Zeb Wise's name stop coming up in silly season posts? I said it's going to be 2035. And because of Dale Coyne Racing, whatever, has a sprint car team, and well, they're based in Indiana, so Zeb Wise's name is in the rumor mill.
We got to keep it alive.
From your perspective, obviously now you're just with High Limit, but from a media perspective and everything else, is this fun? Is silly season fun for you? I mean, obviously this is crazy. I mean, we don't know where Donnie's going. We kind of know where Sheldon's going. It's the most worked on hidden secret ever, but there's still a lot.
Take the friendships out of it, just as a race fan.
Yeah, but there's just so much. How do you see it? I mean, this is just an insane year of silly season, and I mean, you guys have been a part of it. Obviously, with Gio now coming to 7BC, whatnot. From your perspective, what do you think of all of it?
I love it. It's as a race fan, it's wild and entertaining. The uncertainty is off the charts. As an employee of the series, it's fun just because you're kind of it's almost like free agency in a way where like, you're lobbying for teams or lobbying for drivers or lobbying for sponsors. So that it's fun in that aspect of just seeing how you can build your roster really for next year. But yeah, I mean, as far as a fan, it's awesome. I love going on Jeremy Elliott's live show on Tuesday nights and seeing all the comments in the chat or just any Facebook group as well. Yeah, that's the thing. The addition of social media into the live of the racing world has taken it to a new level, and the way rumors spread or something completely not even feasible gets made up is hilarious. So it's fun to follow in that sense.
So where's Donnie going next year?
I don't know. I've heard at least like 6 different rides.
I was gonna say it's kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
He can't he can't end his outlaw career like this though, right? Like jumping from ride to ride. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I agree. But what does he do? I don't know.
I
all
can
the
tell you
big
what, I
seats.
don't think the winning streak's continuing this year. Unfortunately, I just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, where are they going?
have hope, Blake.
What's left? We got Putnamville, LaSalle, Angel Park.
I mean,
He is good
Eastern.
at he's good at Charlotte.
I feel like he hasn't won at Charlotte in a couple of years though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they go,
Has he
Arrowhead.
hasn't looked the most.
And how much does
competitive.
that car give him? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other side of it, but I don't know.
It goes
It's
to
crazy.
show that the continuity of teams and the people matter. And it's undeniable that when he and Ricky split up, that it's just kind of been down. Like, of course, they won, the Nationals without Ricky with the Ford, but it wasn't all the Ford. I think that it goes to show that the people matter. And look at what Ricky and Rico are doing now, and are going to do at Tony Stewart Racing next year. It's not a coincidence, in my opinion, and we've talked about that plenty of times here.
Are you guys excited, Brian, to have Tony Stewart and Tony Stewart racing with High Limit? That's got to be pretty fun.
Yeah, that's really huge. Obviously, we already have KKR. I mean, to me, those are the two names that have contributed as car owners contributed to the most to the sport of sprint car racing in the past 30 years. So to have Casey Kane and Tony Stewart both on the same tour again, and for it to be with us, I think that's a really big deal. And they have a driver like Rico who has the biggest brand in the sport. That's a huge deal. I know we're all really, really excited to have that. And thankfully, we can finally quit saying I heard on that one. That one's true.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, we're going to talk just quickly about what happened this weekend, then we'll wrap things up. We'll start out with the World of Outlaws stuff. Brian can still talk about World of Outlaws stuff, so that's no problem. They were at New Egypt here on Friday night. Fun track. Weird looking track.
I didn't know it looked like that.
It now looks like Phoenix. Or Phoenix Raceway.
Yeah. Someone said that it looked exactly like Phoenix. Alex must have posted the drone shot on Friday afternoon. And I was like, oh my God, what is there? I envisioned in my head too. Someone pointed out that there's like 2 left-hand turns. I counted them. They're like, man, there's really like 6 turns there. Like, and I just envisioned Johnny saying, out of turn number 6.
And what did he keep saying down the? What did he call the back? No, it wasn't the back stretch. He kept calling it something. The back bend or something like that.
The back bend. That's good.
I can't remember what it was.
I thought it was gonna be like Weed Sport, kind of like Weed Sport. And
Same.
then it's weird. But
I didn't get to watch that race. I know Carson won was the
race it was
today.
good. Macedo ended up picking up the win. He just kind of dominated for the most part. It was his first ever time at New Egypt. So yeah, the Outlaws really lean into that. I mean, everybody does. Whenever they go to a new series, it's like, all right, let's go back. Wait, who has been here? And I think they went to a place in Wisconsin earlier this year, and they're like, Baylog was here in 2011, and they talked to Bill about it. He's like, I don't remember ever coming.
Yeah.
That's just part of it. But Macedo picks up the win. Logan Schuhart and David Gravel round out the podium. We talked about it last week, but obviously really unfortunate the passing of Bobby Allen. And Logan just wants to win. For that team, obviously, who knows what happens with this team, what kind of goes about, who's running the show. But just really interesting. And obviously, Logan's coming around with you guys a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we're all familiar with him from the Outlaws too. And then we had Jacob, and Bobby was, I want to say, at every high limit race last year when Jacob was on tour. So, that was terrible to see. The kind of word got out Sunday night or whatever, and everyone was just kind of hoping it wasn't true when we heard Bobby pass, and that's really unfortunate. And we're still thinking about everyone over there at Shark.
Do you think, speaking of Carson Macedo, is he going to win an Outlaws title in his lifetime?
He has to, yeah. My instant gut reaction is yes.
It just feels like right now he's.
I agree. Like, I thought this year would have been the year.
Yes.
Like after last year, I think in February, I would have said Carson was winning the Outlaw title. But man, the emergence of Buddy, like, does Buddy win an Outlaw title in the next 2 years?
It sure feels like he can.
Right. Right.
And you were talking about it. I think you were talking about it with Josh. Last thing here, Josh, before. But you were talking about just the smallest things before I even hopped on that can affect points. I remember a couple of years ago, Macedo was leading the points like midway through the summer at the Outlaws, and I think he failed tech, or like he was light at the scales.
Yeah, at Williams Grove, right?
He was either first or second, and like it killed it. Like it just killed points. And it's amazing those small mistakes that can just ruin a season.
Yep. The slightest thing that like just snowballs more than anything. Like I think that's what it is.
The thing that's on the top of my mind, talking about like if Carson's going to win one or Buddy, it's you just have to wonder if kind of like the stretch that Donnie was on, but so and so was really good, could have got it done, but Donnie, are we going to have this stretch here? But it's like but gravel,
Yeah.
Just looking at the stats, we were talking about that before we got on here too. Like it's insane to me still. I keep repeating this multiple times this year about his top fives. He's been out of the top 5 11 times, and one of them was just this past weekend. You can't beat somebody that's performing like that.
Has he DNF'd at all before? Did he? I think was
One
there
time,
one? Okay,
It was like once,
maybe one more.
Once or twice. He's definitely had the issues where something has happened in the race, has gotten,
but they get back out.
Yeah,
yep.
He's been out of the top 10 3 times this year.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Especially the races that they're in.
Yeah.
Insane. They then went to Lincoln on Saturday. Anthony Macri picks up the win. The Concrete King. Anthony Macri picks up the win. Guys are really good off entry this year. I don't know what that's all about, but
I don't know what's going on with
they're
that.
Motivated.
I was honestly shocked that he ran that weekend. Like I thought I figured he was done racing with the Outlaws all year, like because they were only doing. Once he missed a national open, I didn't think he'd run New Egypt and Lincoln, but I mean he comes out and he wins. So
it sounded like he found out on Thursday also. So it's like
really
last minute too. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Do you think if Macri joined either Outlaws or High Limit, say it happened next year, would he be top 5 in that series no matter where he went?
Ooh, that's a good over-under line. Top 5.
I mean, the thing is, he doesn't really go out west, so it'd kind of be a wild card. But like at Eagle, I mean, he almost won Eagle. I mean, he's pretty now. Knoxville, not really been his thing, but I mean, you just never know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like the unfamiliarity isn't either a bad thing either. Like you could go to Skagit for the first time and. Heck, it's my best track now. Like, you just don't know.
Yeah. Bill Baylog went to California and smoked it.
Exactly. He almost won the National Open.
Yeah, he did. That too.
So yeah, I mean, I think it would be very close. I'll say either 4, 5, or 6. I guess that leans yes. I will say
just keep clicking them off too. Like they just seem to keep getting better and better together.
Yeah, and for a team like Macri too, in his sense, having Joe Mooney as a crew chief, if he were to do that, I mean, he kind of has a leg up in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Held off Chase Dietz, who has been picking it up here as of late. Obviously, picked up the Outlaws win. I'm excited to see what Chase Dietz can do here over the next couple of years. He came out to Nationals, which was pretty cool here at Knoxville, so really neat. And then Buddy Kofoid earned the podium finish. David Gravel, Carson Macedo both had issues, which then lends the points to just down to 106. It's not over till it's over. Buddy's just kind of been hanging around. I mean, that the little mini rivalry between Roth and that big game team, they're stealing money from each other. Buddy, you'd have to check, Josh. Buddy still the biggest earner in money this year?
Oh, he has to be.
He has to be.
Yeah, he has to be. Dude can win big races. I mean, that's there's nothing gone about that.
I mean, winning about $400,000 in a week span is insane. Because even right before he won,
210,000 up on Rico. So yeah, he still has the lead.
I think he's
Thanks,
safe.
sprint car ratings.
Insane. High Limit, you guys went to Lakeside on Friday. Good to see the lights were working. I was kind of worried about that. It is still a little dark there, in my opinion. It's just a little dark. I think they gotta get some nice Musco bright lighting out there or something. But Brent Marks picked up his 4th win of the season over Aaron Reitzel and Brad Sweet. Boy, what a race. I mean, that's a fun racetrack. Reitzel was just all over him. Sammy Swindell did not make it easy both nights when it came to lap traffic. But and we talked about Brent, but just really, really solid. What do you like most about Lakeside? How many times have you been there before?
I've been there a lot, just between all I think High Limit's been there 5 or 6 times, and then I went there maybe 3 or 4 with the Outlaws as well, so I've been there plenty. And then I've non-wing races there, ASCS races. I think I said it on the High Limit room last week. It's like no matter what's there, it honestly is a good race most of the time. And then like you saw it Friday night, lap traffic really created a good battle there. I had at times I had all Brent, Aaron, and Brad's winter graphic ready because I didn't know who was gonna win. So yeah, it's a fun track. It gets so racy and wide. Like a Saturday, I went to the Chiefs game yesterday with Clinton Boyles, and he was telling me Saturday night, like I mean, the cushion in 3 and 4 was like on the wall. Like there was barely any space away from the fence. So it's very racy joint, and it's cool how the fans come out and support it. That's what Kansas City's a market that like
Yes.
it's a big racing market. So it's always well supported.
Yeah. I was
It
just
does
down
look
there
like
for the NASCAR race a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, be cool to get more high profile races there because like you were saying, it's pretty much a banger every time, and
hmm
it seemed like Reitzel he would get to Brent and like one mistake or catch the lap car at the wrong time.
Yeah. Or it's like Brent
just
made a
didn't
mistake,
work
and
out
I'm
for him.
like, oh, Rice is gonna pass him. Oh no, Rice got tripped up on the cushion. Like
Yep, yep.
I didn't know who was gonna win.
And speaking of Clinton, that's been a pretty cool. Probably, I'm sure it's been an up and down year for him, but it's been a pretty cool arc for him this year that he's getting back in the car. Did he win a race?
He did.
Or
He
was he
won.
second?
He won. He
A couple
won
weeks ago, yeah.
prelim
Yeah.
at the Hockett race. Yeah.
That's right. Yep, it was at hockey. Yep.
Yep.
Cool deal for him. I know he tipped it over here recently. It was with the Doney car, another
Mhm.
Doney car, and he was not happy about that, understandably so. But it's cool seeing him get that opportunity because he's really been running with it.
Yeah, it's been a fun. I know like himself. He's happier than ever. Like he made that decision in August to leave the 55 crew chief and just. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really have anything set in stone. He's just racing here and there, helping. He helps Bernie a lot with the 71 ppm, and he's just kind of living right now. I know he's having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We got a golf trip to Phoenix in 2 weeks, so I'm gonna need him at his peak.
A little jealous.
That's fun. Brad Sweet, like we talked about on Saturday, picked up the win. First win since July. That's just crazy.
That's insane.
It does feel like though Brad's last couple wins, and it was kind of happening in the Outlaws too. They weren't as often as they have been. You know, they just kind of have a couple of yaps in between them. I think those make it sweeter for Brad. And I think you can see that in Victory Lane. He was really this year has been one of few to actually beat Ryan Timms straight up when Ryan Timms has been leading. Most of the time this year, when Ryan Timms gets the lead, Ryan Timms doesn't lose the lead. And he just struggled in lap traffic, struggled to get around Sammy Swindell at one point, and then just got caught, and Brad Sweet got around him. From an outsider perspective, obviously, Josh and I have been spoiled to watch Ryan all year at Knoxville. Is there really any words to describe what Ryan Timms has done this year and what trajectory he's on to possibly becoming and that Lee Big Ten team?
No, I don't have him at least. You talk about Saturday night. Ryan came down for the dash draw, and I told him, I said, "Hey, congrats on the win tonight, man!" Like, I told his crew guy Marty, I was like, "You guys think you're gonna win by 8 seconds or 13? Like, what's the range?" I mean, it was like lap 1 of the heat race Saturday night, and it was like, oh god, we jokingly call it the Super 10. Yeah. Like at Port Royal in Knoxville, the Super 10 was out, and I mean, it's on a completely different playing field. It's insane. Like, I mean, how at Knoxville, it's the Knoxville freaking Nationals, and to do what he did it wasn't even close at all. Like absolute domination. The same at
people
Port Royal.
were complaining about it. It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Yeah, what's funny is like it never really like during the whole time it happens at Knoxville. It's like wow, like or like each restart, like the halfway break. We get to the halfway break, and I'm like,
there's no
okay,
way, right?
Yeah, I was like, okay,
yeah.
Okay, surely, all right, this is where, like, all right, yeah, the kid gets a little tired or whatever, the car falls off a little bit, like, nope, just gets better and better. Like, each restart, nobody comes even close to touching him. It's insane. And then, like, I remember it was that night, Parker PPM said, like, Ryan Timms is going to be on the Avenue of Champions forever. And it was like, whoa, that hit. That's what hit me. It was like, oh, man, he is. That's insane. Yeah. But yeah,
and Wade had a cool video about touching on that with signing the billboard or the pole. And like you posted some videos of little baby Ryan. That was back in Tulsa. Those are really
that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. That's what's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it was, I think 7 years ago, I was watching him in junior sprints. And he was like, I mean, he was always really good in Mike. Actually, yeah. I mean, he dominated junior sprints, which is a weird thing to like even have any inkling thoughts on, right? Like they're junior sprints; they don't really mean that much for the future. And like, I don't remember Ryan ever being too good when he moved up to like outlaw micros or anything like that. But then it was like I think when he got into a sprint car for the first time, it was like okay, he's pretty good.
Podium
But
with the Outlaws and his first
yeah,
ever run in the
yeah,
Dakotas. Yeah,
they don't want the smoke. Never
Yeah.
forget the tweet. Um,
insane.
but yeah, I mean, he was obviously a high outlaw debut, and then to win the nationals at 19 years old, man. Like, I mean, I'm sure none of us had our lives together at 19.
Dude had a down year when he was 18
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah,
Like that's
Yeah.
just
right.
like people are like, man, he was so bad. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
he was 18 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Insane. He ended up finishing second. He did have a little bit of a run in with Chase Randall. They were battling so hard. Ryan tries the slider, and then Chase just kind of stuck with it on the fence. I don't really know from your perspective what you saw, Brian, but unfortunate accident. Obviously, unfortunately catches Austin McCarl, who besides the
gosh.
championship has just had a terrible year. And it's so weird to say, yeah, he's a track champion this year, but he has had a terrible year of luck, especially with high limit.
Yeah.
And then Rico Avery rounds out the podium. But what did you see from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean,
It's racing.
I lean towards it's just racing. I didn't get to. I know TOP got. He asked Ryan directly about it in the post race. I didn't get to hear exactly what he said. But I mean, yeah, I lean towards it's just racing. I mean, I don't believe they touched at all. I think I watched the replay back and they literally did not touch. I think it was just two young guys going at it, and Chase was having one of his best runs ever with high limit, and he wasn't going to take his foot off the floor, and
that's
he went for it.
What Ryan said. He felt like he may have been able to lift, and he just stayed in it to try to drive around him, and that is kind of what you're risking if the hole closes, because like you said, they never touched, but unfortunate, because you like to see Chase, because you were saying he was looking for his best high limit run and didn't work out, but
I told
a lot lately.
I told Chase the other day in a parking lot somewhere that you're going to win in Texas. Just win one night in Texas.
Oh,
that's the perfect
cool.
story. The rookie from Texas finishes the season with a win in Texas.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, last thing I just wanted to ask. I didn't ask you at the beginning, but when y'all are doing the wheel draw and Tony has his giant ass iPad. He's got on his head.
He's got like a strap for it too.
Yeah. Are you the one that's frantically typing stuff in for him to read what's happening, or is he the one that's just reading it through going off the top of his head?
No, he's doing all that himself. Well, I mean, once we get the wheel set up, normally it's me, Jake, and Tony, and any order. We always need. It's so freaking giant that, I mean, it literally takes 3 people to put it together. Normally 2 to take it apart, but you got to have 3 to put it together because you need someone standing on the legs just to slide the wheel onto the axle. And then but once it's together, I'm just telling the drivers when to go up. But he's got his iPad, with the hot seat question, and then the order and all that.
It's rolling. That's cool. It's a lot of fun to watch.
It is very entertaining for the fans. Yes,
for sure. Well,
all right, Josh.
Said you're good, Brian. We've touched on most of it, I think. That's coming this week. Do you have anything else you want to pub before we close around?
While the Outlaws are on a hiatus, so I know the Outlaws race Sunday night, but you can watch the High Limit Banquet on Flow Sunday night as well. It's going to be a fun time. Kendra Jacobs puts a lot of work into it. Last year's was the most fun banquet I've ever been to. So I'm looking forward to Sunday night.
It's nice that it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah. The place we do it at's really cool too. So like we race in TMS, obviously, right? And so there's a place called Tannehill's down in the stockyards. So it's so cool to just be down there all day Sunday and everything going on.
And High Limit Room still pretty much weekly, right?
Yeah, during the season, I think in the off season it might go to like bi-weekly. We got to work that out, but we'll be around regularly. You guys are doing this every week though, right?
Yeah, that's the plan, man.
Yeah. Is it always Monday night?
Yeah, Monday night. So
Monday.
If you're ever bored, hit us up.
No, Monday night we got this. Tuesday's Jeremy's show. Then we
Sprint car fans are spoiled. We know. They just don't know it.
Hey, it's way better than it was even 1 years ago.
Yeah. And that's why we started this. It's like we were looking for this kind of stuff. It wasn't out there, so we'll just do it ourselves.
That goes back to what I was saying when I started. Like that night I did updates and there was no live stream. Like it's honestly insane if you think about it, how spoiled we are as a sport, like how far it's came in such a short time. Like people like you, Jeremy Elliott, Dirt Tracker. I mean the oh my gosh, why? Oh, the Drivers Project. Like so many people are putting out content for all of us to consume. It's awesome.
It definitely is. Make sure you follow Brian. He's at Walkapedia _ right on
Yep,
Twitter, X, whatever.
it's about time to really get active on that.
Yeah, you're gonna be eyeballs deep in that stuff here in just a couple months. Probably we'll see you. I think we still do have plans. We're gonna make a trip down to Chili Bowl. It'd be my first time. Like you've never been.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
So we're
Life changing.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Life changing.
I've always
illness
wanted to go.
upcoming. We can't wait.
Yeah. We might need some tips on how to not get sick off our asses from all that stuff,
Absolutely.
But yeah, guys, make sure this is Sprint Car Nights. We're going to be rolling with this. Knoxville Nights is still out there as well. Make sure you give us follows wherever you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube as well. Follow Blake at Blake_Walker8 on Twitter. I'm at Josh_Gerlach. We will be back here next Monday for another edition. See you guys later.